The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
Welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So right now, as we start the show, the S&P's off about 10.5 points, 29.19. When we look at the, where's that little devil right there? Look at the volume. Pretty strong, 4.1 billion shares to start the show. So it's, I guess, maybe we're starting to see some volume that is typical in the fall of volume. Of course, lower this morning. There was some news out. Political news, and of course it was fake news. At least it wasn't true the way they stated it. Might be eventually one day true, but not true today. But it didn't matter. I don't think the market really went down on that news as much. I think that there are a lot of headline machines that just read headlines and they sell depending on what they think the news is, which starts other people selling because they all think that somebody else knows something that they don't know. And so they continue on. But I'm going to tell you that there's something else at work today, and that is options rollover. Options rollover takes about a day or two, generally 2 days into the afternoon to get options put on, and options, the hedge for those options to be rolled over. Now, September is the most important month for new options because most of these options will run all the way through Christmas, the expiration right before we go away for Christmas vacation, or at least I will. So we've got a little bit. I'm not going to make too much out of today one way or the other. To me, we got options rollover for a couple of days. Then we go right into the FOMC meeting on Wednesday. Of course, this one also comes with a press event, so that's not going to be over till about 3:15, and of course that takes us right into the 26th, and Friday, really next Monday starts fund buying. So we'll have to see how this works, but more than a few cross currents, hard for a lot of stuff going on to get a pure play. But we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Come on, where's it at there? Gold's up about $2.40. Oil, of course, is the strong man out here, up $1.39 at 72.17. There are a couple of reasons out there. Everybody's a little worried about Iran, and of course, the Chinese have one of their military ships down in Venezuela right now. They've already promised $5 billion. But even the Chinese don't believe communists when it comes to money. And that $5 billion, they've only seen $1 billion so far of it, which is not near enough to keep a nation that half is staying alive by eating grass or eating their pets. But again, communists and socialism through 6,000 years of recorded history has always ended up this way. What else do we have? Well, those are the ones I was looking at. I know everybody else is thinking a lot of other stuff going on. I just don't see a lot happening until after we get to that. And of course, we're going to have a little bit of taste of earnings as we had last week after the bell tonight. Uranium Energy, but it's not a big one. A couple other small ones, so nothing really moves the market. Now, tomorrow morning, we get into Carnival, Cruise Lines, Jabil Circuit, FactSet, Schnitzer Steel, a handful of those. After the bell tomorrow night, Nike, KB Homes, and Cintas. Cintas is really interesting to look at, of course, because they rent uniforms to a lot of businesses. And when their business is booming, that means that those people have hired more folk out there. Oh, we don't use folk enough these days anymore. Wednesday, we get into the morning. Excuse me. Wednesday, we get into the morning with CarMax, Actuant, After the Bell, Bed Bath and Below, and Pier 1 Imports, two of the more suckier retailers. Thursday, we get into Rite Aid in the morning, Accenture, Conagra Food Brands, and Friday, Blackberry, Vail Resorts, and that pretty much wraps it up. Now, we get into the week after that in October, where we start picking up on next Tuesday, which starts with PepsiCo, Lennar, Paychex, Nova Gold, Lennar. I got Lennar in here twice. Oh, that's a B shares. And that takes us through earnings. So we're going to start ramping up here slowly into the first couple of weeks of October, and then we're going to have a huge flood of earnings coming back. But I don't know if there's much else you can say about it other than that. And we got a little bit of history, and then we'll go on to some charts. I also have some news today. So let's get a little bit of history going.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
With all the talk of the Supreme Court, on this day in 1789, the Judiciary Act is passed by Congress and signed by President George Washington, a president of these United States, establishing the Supreme Court of the United States as a tribunal made up of 6 justices who serve on the court until death or dismemberment. That day, President Washington nominated John Ray to preside as Chief Justice, John Rutledge, William Cushing, John Blair, and Robert Harrison, James Wilson to be the associate judges. On September 26, all 6 appointments were confirmed by the U.S. Senate. Wow, in one day. No Bataan Death March to get somebody appointed? I guess not. On this day in 1789, it went very smoothly. Amazing. This one was probably the more interesting article I saw out of the weekend, and that is that TripAdvisor looks like we've got some fairly big investigations going on in Europe about this. What they found out is that 1/3 of all the reviews were being paid for by the hotels and restaurants themselves. Now, here in the United States, I think you can get in a little bit of trouble. Over in Europe, it's a huge problem. But I'm wondering what the numbers are here in the States. We'll come back, a little bit of more news as we tiptoe through the stocks. No tulips. No tulips. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Monday, September 24th, TFNN is launching a new updated version of our website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, and starting Monday, you'll be able to experience the new and improved TFNN website. If you're a current subscriber, don't worry, your subscription will be automatically transferred. The new TFNN.com will allow much easier access to all your account and subscription information. Get ready for the new TFNN.com, educating investors. Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we are back. We were talking about TripAdvisors. We'll look at that in a second. Yelp was in the newsletter this morning. I wanted to take a look at this one. One of the weaker looking stocks back to about 41 bucks. Somebody made a comment in the den, so I figured I'd just start off with this one. But, you know, if you got Tom's book, or if you've ever thought of looking up James Wyckoff, price and volume trading has worked for 120 years. We could probably say over the last 8 years that certainly that easy Fed money made it a little less important. With the Fed money coming out, it has made some of the bigger trades that I've had this year. In fact, Tech Insider's having the best year ever. But you know what? You look at Yelp, you always wonder how many of these reviews are right. August 10th, $51.33. 9.3 million shares got into it with 5 million shares on the 20th. On Friday, you had 3.5 million shares. Today, just 680,000 shares. Again, I suspect that whatever's going to happen out here is probably going to happen late Wednesday or Thursday, depending on what happens. If we get a complacent Fed, then maybe we can move up a little higher. If we get an aggressive Fed, that may mean that we see some pullbacks in the market. But I think that will set the tone for the fall. Okay. You can email me at path@tfnn.com. You can put a message in the den, or you can give me a call. I'd love to hear your dulcet tones at 877-927-6648. Don't you love the new website? Just got to. Okay, other stocks of note today, at least some that I had in my newsletter that I'm looking at. ProShares Ultra Dow 30. Got a nice little topping pattern going back to the January 29th high of 2018, $50.71 with 1.4 million shares. We got into that with on Friday with 423,000 shares. Looks like we're going to beat that to the downside today in the Dow. But certainly, these are some of the most aggressively negative and bearish charts I've seen for a while in bigger ETFs. You came down with that huge energy off of January 29th. You've been working all the way back up here. But if you can see it, I don't know if it's that easy on what you're looking at, but I'll read it out. The power law vector indicator number I have, which measures the energy in between the high and low. So it gives you an idea how much energy was consumed pushing it higher. But from June 28th up to Friday's high, we had a 1.5. The jump off the top of the building from January 29th to February 6th came in with 4.9. So, I mean, you had some tremendous energy in Dow Pro shares on the way down. You've now kind of come up. This leg from June 28th has been incredibly light. You got into September, it never really picked up. And of course, the first big days that you have was the gap up Thursday, the gap up on Friday, and then the reversal out here today. So you want to keep an eye on that. Question about the GDX. Okay, so you've bounced off the low. You've gotten back into what is fairly high volume down, 126 million shares back on the 15th of August. Today, you've gotten into that with 27.7 million shares. So the energy really was kind of down there. You did get and break a little bit lower to 1728, and now you're back into the trading range. But to me, I'm still looking for some lengthy consolidation in gold before I would go long in it. Certainly going long today, it looks to me like a little long in the tooth. If I was going to buy it, I probably would have had to buy it below $18. Okay. Got a question about AMAT from John. I just still don't see anything. I just think you still need a test of 37.39, which is at September 12th low. Let's take a quick look at the SMHs. Just half of the SMHs just can't really get going. The SMHs on the longer time frame are in this big triangle pattern. And, you know, you go back to March 13th and April 25th and just draw that, and you've had continually lower highs and higher lows back into this. You did have that one little spike for a day down to 102.16, but it's gone right back into doing what it's been doing, which isn't a lot. SWKS, take a quick look at that one. You know, you've had a nice bounce off the lows. The volume was about the same at the lows. You went a couple bucks lower than the April 30th low, but you're just back into the trading range. I don't see, you know, I see a lot of volume coming in the last couple of days in Skyworks, but a lot of people were short these stocks, and not surprising. If we get light volume today, that may tell you that you're out of the woods, not out of the woods, that you're out of the short squeeze that I think is coming in a handful of those. HSIC, which is Henry Schein. All I can think of is get your Shine box. If you're a big Wise Guys fan. And Spider getting shot in the foot. Henry Schein, SHIC, tested the previous spike, the August 6th high, 3.4 million shares at 85.81. You went above it on Friday with 1.6 million shares, right back into the trading range today. Other notables out here are the U.S. Home Construction Index. This thing actually, you wanted to watch it very closely to see whether it came back into the trading range. This may give us a little bit of forewarning of what's happening by the Fed. You had $36.84 at 8 million shares back on May 16th. We broke through that on Friday with 4 million shares, so you got half the volume. Today you got a continuation with 2.6 million shares so far. So you got to kind of look and say that, well, you got some volume out here. It's not huge. The energy off this July 19th high back down to this low actually has started to decrease a little bit. But I don't see anything out here that says that the first thing wouldn't be more consolidation instead of instant move higher. But maybe if you're along those things, it'll seem like higher if all it does is go sideways. We'll be back in a minute. We'll look at the Mosaic Company. They're in fertilizer, just like Washington, D.C. Be back in a minute.
Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary power law vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of the Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And, we were talking about Mosaic before we were so rudely interrupted by those commercials. What do we have? We're still off. And 10.5 points. I don't see anything change here. Dow's off 167. Nasdaq's off 3. Anyway, we were looking at Mosaic. Another one that was kind of interesting for Friday. Energy did kind of come off from the August 23rd low up to the high on Friday after testing the August 7th high at 32.32. Again, these are fairly clear signals in the fact that we are going above previous highs, doing it on very light volumes, mostly half on what I'm going to be showing you today, closing back underneath it, and the energy kind of coming off on that last leg back up. So can you say it's the end of the world for these? Not yet. You need the market to come with it. But certainly when we're looking at a lot of these stocks, starting to get a lot more on a daily basis of highs testing previous highs on light volume and lows testing previous lows on lighter volume. Netgear, the big manufacturer of routers and other things for consumer home products and networking, tested its previous low of $62.75 today. Did so, that was 770,000 shares. So far, 400,000 shares on Friday, and so far 136,000 shares today. So, you know, it's kind of a tale of two cities, depending on what you're looking at and whether or not we're going to get sector rotation out of the weaker ones into the stronger ones. Nuance Communications in UAN, 1713 is the August 9th high. Did that just under 7 million shares. Got into it with under 4 million shares on Friday, and now we're back into the trading range. It could be about 1575. Oracle, of course, pretty poor earnings, but they said that they'd use and throw all the money that they could at this to buy their shares back for the short term. I still don't see the product that really makes them big competitors with Google and Amazon Web Services and Azure from Microsoft. But you are back and filling this gap down from March 19th that had 25.7 million shares. And right now we got about 15 million shares. So you're probably going to come up light, even though that one probably wouldn't short it, but it is telling you that there isn't the kind of energy other than the fact that these people are in a buyback mood. Packaging Corporation of America, I bring this one up from time to time. The reason why it's a handful of stocks that are the canary in the coal mine for the market. This tells you how many people are buying boxes to ship their products in that are made here in the United States. They don't do much work outside. In fact, I think it's less than 5% is outside the United States. These guys make all the bags for dog food, all the other stuff that you might see. I knew I forgot something at the store yesterday. I forgot to buy dog food. Anyway, these guys make the wrappers and labels and literally anything that needs to be packed. These guys got their thumb in like a pie. Anyway, gap down on June 15th. We've come back into that gap down that had 1.1 million shares and 1 million shares. Got into it with 800,000 shares, which isn't all that bad for Thursday. Friday, it rolled back down, though, and today we've got a little bit of hammer out here. So just keep an eye on that. What else? I'm going to go to S. Sprint. Sprint has come back up into its abandoned baby April 27th high, $6.62, 58 million shares. Got into that Friday with 12 million shares. This is one of the other companies that I'm thinking is on the forefront of pushing a lot of people into what they're talking about with 5G. I'm not a big fan of buying T-Mobile or Sprint. These guys are going to have to throw huge amounts of money into infrastructure in the future. Normally, it takes a couple of years for that kind of money and that kind of cash to be integrated in the long-term view of the company. But certainly, they're running those ads already today, and I suspect that's going to make all cell phone or smartphone sales lower until people start seeing big 5G symbol on the phones themselves. I'm hearing that Samsung will have such a phone somewhere around the beginning of November. I don't think it's the phone I want to buy, but after that, you know, it's probably going to be a little tough to sell phones when everybody's thinking about 5G in the near future. The Sprint ad, pretty interesting. It's got a lot of people from the 80s, I think, yeah, the 80s, driving around, engineers and the prime engineer of a lot of these cell phone equipment, driving around in cars and vans and talking on the phones, you know, the ones with cords, the big ones. And it's interesting, but I'm going to have to say that over the next few years, these guys are going to spend billions and billions of dollars putting out the 5G network. Now that money was going to come back, but you have to put out a lot of money up front, and Wall Street's not big on that. They're more than willing to wait until some of that money starts coming in and it starts looking like they're going to go pile back in. So I don't expect that much happening in Sprint or T-Mobile or the rest of those guys. The Spider Series Trust SPYV, nice big gap down today. Don't have a lot of volume on it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that one, but it is interesting. SRNE, which is Sorrento Therapeutics, one of the better looking stocks, certainly one of the better looking biotechs. I haven't had a lot of time to check these guys out yet, but a fairly nice looking chart out here. And what part I really like, the March 28th low at $4.10 had almost 13 million shares. The low on September 17th only had 2 million shares. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that everybody isn't going nuts to go out there and sell this yet. But again, I'm not thinking that there's any reason to buy today. We've got a couple of them. We had a nice call from Marie last week in which we talked about WATT, W-A-T-T, and my call on this is that it's a tough call in the fact that extraordinary claims need extraordinary proof, and you've got zero proof of their product claims. Now, they've got some FCC registration. That only means that it didn't interfere with another product. I don't see anything in this yet that would tell me that there's any kind of big moving. But I mean, this is the kind of pattern you normally want. But normally, you know that there's kind of there's some there. This one is certainly a crapshoot. Oh, it's what was it? Not odd job. What was the other one? We'll be back in a minute.
Hi, folks. Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. If you'd like to be the bank and get the type of interest they receive instead of the low interest rates they give to clients, then I have an investment you may want to take a look at. I'm offering 4-year secured first mortgages on buildable city lots in St. Petersburg, Florida. The investment can be anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000 per buildable city lot. The interest paid is 7% per year, paid monthly. Depending on the investment, the income per month per lot ranged from $175 for a $30,000 investment to $437.50 for a $75,000 investment. If you are in the CD market, you want to look at this investment. St. Petersburg is located in Pinellas County, which is the densest county in Florida. If you're looking for an investment with your principal intact that pays a good interest rate, this may be for you. The supply is limited, so act now. For more information on these secured first mortgage opportunities, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And I'm going to check in with Whirlpool. Again, I'm looking at a handful of these, thinking that we're going to get some real clear signal here in the next couple of days. And these are the easiest ones to see. Whirlpool had its big low on July 25th, 122.81 with 4.7 million shares. Only got 1.14 million shares on September 18th. You're back into it today with 436,000 shares. So there isn't a lot of juice. You came down on heavy volume on the earnings report. Now it's just kind of going sideways out here. If this thing can hang out, and again, I think a lot of these stocks are set up for some level of consolidation. They're going to bore everybody out. But if you can hang in there around the 122 area for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, I think that there may be something and actually some fairly decent money in some of these, just back up to the gaps that they saw before. Other ones of interest, what do we have? Of interest certainly is Williams Sonoma. This one had a monster gap up of 16 million shares on the 23rd of August, which is a month in the year. Back in here, filled half the gap. That's exactly what you want to look for. If you're feeling really froggy out here in front of the Fed, this is the best looking chart pattern if you're playing ABCs on the way up, that I could find anyway. You're, what is that, 56? There you go. You've done a 54% retracement. And a 1-to-1 would take you to $82.12. So you've completed one ABC. You've completed the second ABC. You've got a little bigger retracement out here. But if you're looking for something to go long and you just can't wait a couple of days, I'm going to say Williams Sonoma looks the best. I'd love this thing to pierce down below 65 yet again, since I didn't buy it. And hopefully we get that this week. So that handles most of the stocks that we were talking right away. Got some new emails during the break. Keep them coming at path@tfnn.com. Anything, any reason to go out here and get into Intel? I don't see that yet. I'd love to see a test of 4406 on the S&P cash, but I don't know if I'm going to get it. My guess is we are going to have an announcement of the CEO. A new CEO today would be worth about $3. That would put you to about $50, which is about halfway through this double gap down started on the 27th of July. And you know what? You really need to test that high volume low at 4406. So I'm hoping that this come back and test it, and then they announce the CEO. It be a much cleaner technical pattern for us to trade in the near future. Back to that is AMD. And now this one you really have to start keeping an eye on because a failure would bring this back to about $20. So you could see a 50% move to the downside. We've stayed above the 3x3 displaced moving average or the 9-day moving average for about 15 days. We spent the last 3 or 4 days underneath it. We're back over that now. Any close back below it would be a retracement into the Joe DiNapoli double repo pattern that has worked fairly good for me in the past. We haven't had a lot of them. This is one of the ones that you kind of want to look at as the textbook version of this. And you know, since you've got such a nice move out here, almost a 50% move back to $20. Not a big fan of shorting under $30 stocks. This one's just above it. I'd much rather find a $200 stock and buy puts on it because if it falls out of bed, I'm going to make a ton more money. This one, you might be able to find puts on it, but my guess is that you'd have to be short the thing. Let's go see what AMD has. There's a little short business going on out here. I haven't looked in a while. Actually, you got some fairly decent people shorting it. They already have the same idea I have, which I dislike. 15.7% short, so it's fairly decent. It looks to what do we got? Is that right? Yeah. 146 million shares short. These guys have a ton of short shares. I forgot how many shares these guys had. And on the daily basis, yeah, you had 20% on Friday and 25% on Thursday. So we have a lot of people looking at this thing on the short side. Let's take a quick look at NVIDIA, which hasn't been doing much. NVDA. You know, once this thing closed on the 19th underneath the moving average, it's been a little weaker. You went down to 258.70. I'm not in the business of shorting monopolies. These guys pretty much have a monopoly on machine learning, and I just don't understand the idea. I can say that the stock would pull back, but there's a lot of stocks that probably should pull back a great deal more than this one. Let's take a look at one of its big suppliers is Micron. Their earnings came out a little lackadaisical. You're pulling up a little bit here today, higher, 27.8 million shares. But I mean, you had almost 100 million shares on Friday after earnings lower. And I think it got to $42 after market. Nobody's really that excited about it. I suspect that you would really want to see a retest of this $40.68 low from September 12th out here. Got some other things. Someone wants me to take a look at Twitter. TWT, what is it? TWTR. I saw at the lunch break when I was looking through news that the people that run Craigslist are setting up a political action kind of committee to go after a lot of these Silicon Valley guys and audit them on what they do and how honest they are with trying to let all voices be heard, as they've said in public. They don't think that's a good thing. They lean more toward the side of censorship and bias, which I don't see how that makes them more money in the long term. Makes a handful of people maybe at their business happy. Yeah, 28.14. You already pierced that. Yeah, I can see. You're into that 93 million share day. That's the April 25th day out here. I think this thing can still go to 2660, and that wouldn't be such a big deal.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools, as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're off 10 points on the S&P. Cash, Dow's off 157. NASDAQ's flat. Actually, just a hint of positive. And of course, when we look at the Russell off 7.7. And again, a little bit of sector rotation. A lot of people thinking, well, maybe if a deal gets done, the Russell, you rotate out of that and back into the big stocks. That was kind of my thinking. But now the Dow is kind of the weakest of the bunch. And of course, we had some stocks last week we thought we wanted to see how they were doing, like Caterpillar, as they go up against some of these areas where they're going to see resistance. For Caterpillar, it was this 160 range. We didn't quite get there. We got to this kind of right shoulder going back to June 6th, 7th, 8th through the 12th before it really got smacked down to 131. One of the real problems with Caterpillar is you have a high volume low, which is on the August 15th, 129.43, that hasn't been tested. So I think you could make a fairly decent claim technically that the energy off August 15th wasn't exciting. The high volume up here, it was okay, but you've got kind of a little bit of a problem if this thing continues to head lower. And of course, you've always got the 129.43 low out here that needs to be retested, including a gap that is the October 24th, 2017 gap up with 18.8 million shares. Now you can make a claim that that actually came down there and filled that gap. I just, I wish that the energy was a little bit stronger up here if I was going to hold Caterpillar a little bit longer. I don't know. You want to hang on the Caterpillar? Nope, that's it. We're done. Fini. The end, my friend. Anyway, sell when you can, not when you have to. We will see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.